Did you
Let's
know
keep it
that children
randomly and
tend to be highly
250
influential when they spend more time
Go
engaging
ahead.
productively with their peers? This experience fosters bonding and enables them to build a solid network of friends towards a bright future. Therefore, at Greensprings Boarding School, we have created conducive peer learning hubs that encourage our students to develop highly effective social skills.
Admission is currently in progress for the 2023-2024 session into Greensprings Boarding School, Awoyaya, Lekki, Lagos.
To book a one-on-one session with the admissions officer, please call 0908 717 1700 or visit our website on www.greenspringschool.com. Greenspring School. In love, serve one another.
Next, yes, we have Green Springs with us today, and they are going to be talking to us about how to prepare your children for global education. Remember, I said earlier that the reason why we're talking global is because we're now in a global village where there are really no borders. Hence, it's important that we understand how to embrace global orientation while we still seek for local integration. And Green Springs is going to be doing a phenomenal job taking us through that. I am just going to hand this over to yours truly, the representatives of Green Springs who are here. Please take it on. Oloranti Bankole, I yield the mic to you at this point.
Okay, you can hear me? All right. I thought so. Good afternoon, everybody. It's really nice to be here. My name is Oloranti Bankole. I'm head of school of the Greensprings School Ikoyi campus, and I have Emmanuela Ilok, our lead ambassador of the IB School. We're here today to discuss a topic that holds immense significance, not only locally but also on a global scale: the education and parenting of globally relevant students. In an increasingly interconnected world, the way we educate and nurture children has far-reaching implications that extend beyond borders. So first and foremost, we have to acknowledge that the landscape of education and parenting has changed and evolved dramatically. And all the speakers who have come before me today have alluded to that. And we just have to be intentional about how we parent and educate children. Gone are the days where education was confined to the classroom and parenting was just about providing basic needs for the children. Today, we're faced with the imperative of preparing our kids, our children, to thrive in a world that is characterized by rapid technology advancements, cultural diversity, and global interdependency. So today, we're just going to talk about what does it mean to educate and parent globally? How has Greensprings School been able to support parents on this journey? And to do that, we are going to have a conversation with Emmanuela Ilok, who is our IB lead ambassador. And she will share some more light on how she, as a product of this global education, what does she think is important? How has she been able to navigate, and what are some of the tips she has to share? And we're just going to have a conversation. So, Emmanuela, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Oloranti.
So, welcome to this chat. So, tell me, just give me a little bit of an introduction and tell me what this topic today means to you. And then we can start the conversation from there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm actually very glad to be here to just shed light on the importance of preparing your child for global education, especially in this digital age. So to me, I believe that, being a student in this age of digitalization, it's very difficult for, us to adapt and to, really thrive in an environment where, there's so many forces working against you, especially in the digital age. So I believe that this topic is very, very important, not just for the students, but also the parents in question. And I believe that this session will definitely help to shed more light on things that have really helped me thrive in the digital age as a student.
Okay, great. So when you think about all the skills and all the attributes that have helped you become who you are and helped you on your journey to becoming a lead ambassador as well, and everything you've accomplished, I would like us to just pick maybe the top 3, top 5 skills that you think are relevant to thrive in a global world. So what's the first one you would like to talk about? What's the number one skill?
Well, I think one of the most prominent ones that really stands out to me is values, because Greensprings really brings out that value-based education when it comes to imbibing these values into its students. It's something that we have been doing from time, because I've been in the school for 15 years, and I've just learned about different core values that we have, and these things have really helped me, not just in my school life but outside of school. Not just about the value-based education system, we're also talking about the IB learner profiles, because the IB school is the International Baccalaureate School, and over here we have so many different values that define our education, such as risk-taking, being principled, being persistent, being perseverant, and having holistic learning. All of these things have contributed one way or the other towards my success in school. One of the other things with regards to values is digital citizenship. Greensprings really emphasizes the importance of being a good digital citizen and leaving a good digital footprint wherever you go. So whenever I'm posting things online or putting my opinion out there, especially on the internet, I'm very wary about what I post. I ensure that what I am posting reflects my values and reflects my morals and doesn't actually contradict my morals and my values. So that's something that I believe that Greensprings has done a great job in imbibing its students, especially with regards to this digital age and environment.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So values, I think everyone post-COVID understands how important having strong values and clear values, maybe I should say, what our anchor is and what guides us. So I really like what you talked about with the value-based learning and how that helps to remind you and probably ground you on inform you on the decisions you need to make, what is driving the decisions you make. And you talked about digital citizenship as well. So I guess maybe if we move a bit to the parent side, what I would add to what you've shared is as parents need to continue to model healthy behaviors to children. Children mimic what they see. Right. So in terms of values, we shouldn't say one thing and do one thing. This is a conversation we've had for centuries, right? Do as I do, do as I say, not as I do, right? But it needs to be do as I say and as I do. So parents need to rise up, and all the adults in the community, which includes parents, teachers, neighbors, relatives, all have to continue to model this value, because in this digital economy, it's become even more important for children to be grounded and understand why. So this we have students who are the age of the why. They need to understand and have a buy-in, and that can only happen when there is the opportunity to have open and honest conversation, open, early and honest conversations. Parents and the school and the community need to be the first ones in the room, in the space, to model what children feel about certain issues. So whatever is important to you as a family, if it's kindness, why is kindness important? So we need to define that for children. And I know that with Emmanuela and at Greensprings School is something that we're very intentional about, our core values. And she alluded to that as well. I think also boundaries, family time, is so important. Having those connections is so, so important. And, the parents and at the home and in the community and the school, it's so important to have that quality time, non-screen time, as it were. So thank you for that. I think that's a very good point. So what else would you like us to talk about?
I think communication as well, that's a very integral aspect of my success so far in this digital age. And that encompasses so many things. But with regards to communication, I would say that Greensprings has imbibed in me public speaking, not just in my years in IB, but from the early years. And I mean like preschool, kindergarten, I've been performing, presenting in shows like Christmas show, Mother's Day, Father's Day, theater arts, and things like that. And this is something that people might take for granted. But for me, it has helped me develop my public speaking skills. I don't have things like stage fright, and I'm able to, command respect in the room or any room that I walk into. And I believe that this is a very important, quality to have in this digital age. We have things like speech and debate club. We have external competitions such as the Young Tycoons Business Challenge, and the public speaking competition, which we did, and I was able to really, show myself and express myself in so many different ways. I believe that this effective communication that Greensprings, as well as the IB School, has imbibed in me has helped me thrive in this digital age where your communication really, really matters wherever you go.
Okay, thank you so much. I know that when we talk about communication, we also need to talk about being able to write and speak. And I know you've alluded to something about public speaking, so that's great. So I've been told we only have a few more minutes, so maybe we can take one or two more top skills that you think are relevant. So which one would you like to bring up next?
I think being service-minded, that's a
Okay.
very, very important one for me. Because in the IB school specifically, we place this emphasis on something called CAS, that stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service. And not just in the IB school, but also in secondary school, we have community service, which students are required to do. And this has really increased empathy in all the students. We don't just think about ourselves, but we think about how we can make an impact on our immediate community. Also using digital tools to make an impact on your immediate community. For example, my friend recently made a podcast about mental health and advocating for mental health. And I also made a website which has to do with, climate action and advocacy for the rights of people when it comes to climate action. So I believe that Greensprings has really helped me to become more service-minded. And that's something that that hasn't just helped me in Greensprings, but I believe that it will help me in the future when I have to deal with situations like this.
Yeah, I think that is so, so important. Every time I speak to parents, one of the things I always emphasize is that we need to be service oriented. As a school, Greensprings' motto is "In love, serve one another." And, I haven't spoken to any parent who doesn't agree that service is important. But what I do know is a lot of us have challenges structuring it for our children. So we end up just doing it maybe at Christmas or some religious holidays, and anything that is important needs to be consistent. And with the IB program, the International Baccalaureate program that Emmanuela is in, they go for this CAS every other weekend. And anything you do every other weekend for 2 years becomes a part of you. And why is this important? Research has shown that when you are service oriented, you understand, one, that the world is not about you. So you're less self-centered. And that is good for us. Whether we're in the digital economy or not, we need more people who are less self-centered. And also, when you have a service mindset, you're always looking for opportunities to help others, whether physically or in the digital world. So like she shared with the podcast. And then when you are service-minded, you actually, science has shown, you have a lower tendency to be depressed, because even if when things aren't going very well for you, you understand that you are still blessed and lucky. And that is a critical mindset that we have to equip our children with as they go out into the world, because as we all know, the world is a very interesting place, and there's so many things that come at our students and our children, and we need to equip them to thrive. So I think having the service mindset is a critical tool. What I would say, though, a responsibility that I will task parents and the school with, and something we are doing at Greensprings, is to ensure that children don't get complacent and don't get overwhelmed. And what do I mean? It's very easy to say, oh, I can have a podcast and I can reach 1,000 people. And we don't pay attention to the quality of what we're putting out there. We need to teach children to still be responsible and understand the responsibility of the platform. So whatever they're putting out there is important, helpful, and addresses the situation. And then with the overwhelming part, going to an orphanage and seeing 10 children and having the mindset and the desire to help and assist is fantastic. When you're on a digital platform and you now have 1,000 children who need support, it can be pretty overwhelming. So one of the things we need to also equip our students with is helping them manage their space, manage their response to things, and make them a bit more resilient. And that skill will help them across the board, regardless of what they are doing or involved with. So thank you so much, Emmanuela. I know that it seems like you've been adequately supported by your parents and Greensprings School, and I know that wherever you find yourself, you're sure and you're equipped to make a positive impact on the world and the global economy. So thank you so much for this chat, and I think we are good. I don't know if we have any questions from anybody.
Do you have any questions yet?
Not.
Well, someone says Greensprings imbibe Greensprings. Greensprings, is that plural or singular? Okay, Greensprings imbibe confidence into children, and that's evident in the way Manuela has spoken today with a lot of confidence and courage. Even, yes, we believe that, yes, you have it, whether we see you physically or we're seeing you virtually. And someone says, Emmanuela is just amazing. Yes, she is. At some point, I was like, is she a student or she's a parent? No, she's going to, she has to be a student. Right, but hey, can we give it up for Emmanuela? Thank you so much, Oluranti Bankole, for all you're doing at Greensprings and for the care, intentional care, raising these children. You are the second level of parenting, that I call it. You are the institutional parents. While you also have biological children, these are your institutional children, and the ability to ensure that we raise them right to have an impacted generation of leaders is very important. So thank you, and thank you for all that Greensprings is doing. Okie doke.
Thank you.